Nicole Gardner sat in the break room at the library, trying to ignore the whispers. She couldn't hear them, of course. She'd been deaf since birth, but she could see the glances, the poorly hidden smiles, the way her coworkers huddled together. Something was happening, something involving her. At 28, Nicole had learned to read people better than most could read books. Body language told stories that voices never could. Her coworker Stephanie approached, phone in hand, typing quickly. The message appeared, "We set you up on a blind date for Friday night. His name is Preston. He's a CEO. Very successful. You're going to love him." Nicole's stomach dropped. She typed back, "I don't want a blind date," but Stephanie was already walking away, giggling with the others. Nicole knew what this was. She'd seen it before. The deaf girl getting set up as a joke. Someone would show up, realize she couldn't hear, make an excuse and leave. Meanwhile, her coworkers would get their entertainment. She should cancel. She should refuse to go. But part of her, the part that still hoped people could surprise her, decided to show up anyway. Friday evening, Nicole arrived at Bellini's Italian restaurant 15 minutes early. She wore her nicest dress, navy blue with small flowers. She'd spent an hour on her makeup. Not because she thought this would work out, but because she refused to give them the satisfaction of seeing her look defeated. The hostess, who knew some sign language, showed her to the table. Nicole waited. She pulled out her phone, ready to communicate however she needed to. She'd been doing this her whole life, adapting, making things work. At 7 o'clock exactly, a man walked in. Tall, maybe late 50s, with silver gray hair and kind eyes. He wore a well-tailored suit but had loosened his tie. He looked tired but dignified. He approached her table. "Nicole?" She nodded and pointed to her ears, then pulled out her phone, typing quickly, "I'm deaf. I communicate through text, sign language, and lip reading. If this is a problem, I understand." She waited for the excuse, the apology, the quick exit. Instead, Preston sat down. He pulled out his own phone and typed, "It's not a problem at all. It's nice to meet you." Nicole stared at the message, confused. Most people panicked at this point, made awkward small talk for 5 minutes, then claimed they forgot something in their car. Preston continued typing, "I should tell you something. My daughter is deaf. She's 15. I've been learning sign language for years, though I'm still not very good at it." He switched to signing, clumsy but sincere. "Nice to meet you." Nicole felt something crack in her chest. She signed back much more fluently, "Your signing isn't bad." He smiled and typed, "You're being kind, but I'm trying. Lily, my daughter, she's patient with me. Most of the time." The waiter came. Preston ordered wine and asked Nicole what she'd like. She pointed to the menu item and he related. Simple, natural. Like this happened every day. "Can I ask you something?" Preston typed after the waiter left. "Did your coworker set this up as a joke?" Nicole froze. How did he know? He continued typing, "Because my assistant set this up for me. She said it was with a lovely woman from the library. But when she gave me the details, she was smiling in a way that made me suspicious. I asked my daughter if she knew anything. Lily has friends who work at the library. She did some asking around." He paused, then typed, "Apparently, your coworkers thought it would be funny to set you up with someone and see what happened. They didn't know my daughter is deaf. They didn't know I'd actually show up and want to stay." Nicole felt tears sting her eyes. So it was a joke. She'd been right. "I'm sorry," she typed. "You don't have to stay. I know this was a setup." "I know," Preston typed back. "That's exactly why I'm staying." He looked at her directly, his expression fierce. "Nicole, I've spent 15 years watching my daughter navigate a world that wasn't built for her. I've seen people be cruel, ignorant, dismissive. I've seen her come home crying because kids mocked her. I've watched her become stronger and braver than I'll ever be," he continued. "So when I found out what your coworkers did, I was furious. But then I thought, what would Lily want me to do? And I knew. She'd want me to show up, to treat you with respect, to prove that not everyone is cruel." Nicole wiped her eyes. "Thank you. They had dinner. Real dinner." Preston was easy to talk with, switching between typing and signing. He asked about her work, her family, her life. He told her about his company, his daughter, his late wife who'd passed when Lily was just 2 years old. "Raising a deaf daughter alone was the hardest thing I've ever done," he typed. "But also the most important. She taught me to see the world differently, to value connection over convenience, to understand that different isn't less. Does she go to the state school for the deaf? Nicole asked via text. She did for elementary. Now she's mainstreamed at the local high school. It's challenging, but she wanted to try. She's stubborn like her mother. Nicole smiled. What does she want to do after graduation? She wants to be a teacher for deaf children. She says no one should grow up feeling invisible the way she sometimes did. She sounds incredible, Nicole typed. She is, Preston agreed. She's also insufferable sometimes, plays her music too loud even though she can't hear it, just to annoy me. Leaves her stuff everywhere. Normal teenage things. Being deaf is just one part of who she is. 2 hours passed. The restaurant began to empty. Neither of them noticed. Finally, Preston typed, I should get you home, but I'd like to see you again if you're willing. Not because of any setup or obligation. Because I genuinely enjoyed talking with you. Nicole hesitated. Your co-workers will know this didn't go how they planned. Good, Preston typed. Let them know. Let them feel ashamed. You deserve better than to be someone's joke. He paused, then added, and Nicole, you're remarkable. The way you've adapted, succeeded, refused to let the world make you small. That takes courage. Outside the restaurant, Preston walked her to her car. He typed one more message. Would you like to meet Lily? Maybe come to dinner at our house next week? I should warn you, she'll probably interrogate you. She's very protective of me. Nicole laughed. I'd like that. The following Friday, Nicole arrived at Preston's home. A teenage girl answered the door, signing rapidly, You're Nicole. Dad hasn't stopped talking about you all week. It's annoying. Preston appeared behind his daughter. Lily, be nice. I am being nice, Lily signed back. I'm being honest. Dinner was chaotic and wonderful. Lily tested Nicole with rapid signing, asking pointed questions about her intentions. Preston tried to mediate but mostly just looked embarrassed. I like her, Lily signed to her father when Nicole was in the bathroom. She's real. Not like those other women who pretended to know sign language. Later, as Preston drove Nicole home, he typed, I'm sorry about Lily. She can be intense. She's protecting you, Nicole typed back. I understand that. I'd do the same. She told me she likes you, Preston admitted. That's rare. She hasn't liked anyone I've dated since her mom died. You've dated a lot? Nicole asked. A few times. It never worked out. Most people didn't want the complication of a deaf daughter, or they fetishized it, wanted to be the hero who saved us. Either way, it felt wrong. He pulled up to her apartment. This feels different. You feel different. Because I understand, Nicole signed, then typed for clarity. I know what it's like to be underestimated, to have to work twice as hard for half the recognition, to be seen as a burden instead of a person. You're not a burden, Preston typed firmly. You're extraordinary. 6 months later, Nicole's co-workers stopped laughing. They watched as Preston picked her up from work, kissed her goodbye, signed I love you where everyone could see. They saw the engagement ring she wore, saw the way she smiled now, saw that their joke had backfired in the most beautiful way. Stephanie approached her one day looking ashamed. She typed, I'm sorry. What we did was cruel. I don't expect you to forgive me. Nicole looked at her for a long moment, then typed, I forgive you, not because you deserve it, but because carrying anger hurts me more than it hurts you. But I won't forget, and I hope you've learned something. Sometimes cruelty reveals character, but sometimes it also reveals opportunity. Nicole's co-workers had tried to humiliate her. Instead, they'd given her the greatest gift of her life. A man who saw her, really saw her, and a daughter who welcomed her home. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe. Share in the comments about a time when something meant to hurt you led to something beautiful. Sometimes our hardest moments carry our greatest blessings.